Hi guys, it's move-in day. Now if you follow our shop vlog, you know I'm moving into a new shop. If you haven't been following, here's a quick recap. I saw this building was for sale and I thought, I've always wanted a post office. So I bought it. But you don't take over a small town post office unless you want your cow tipped. So I'm renting out half the building to the government so they can keep delivering their mail. And I'm using the other half for a new shop and video studio. In the last 3 vlogs, we put in some extra rooms, some extra wires, some extra lights, and a one-armed monster that eats dust. Today we're moving in some of the heavy shop machines, I'm upgrading my already super awesome table saw, and I'm dealing with the cable guy. Leaving the old shop is bittersweet. I filmed a final shop tour, which I'll include in our next vlog, but there's not time to get sentimental about the decade I spent in there. Everything has to go. I thought of filming the teardown. Then I figured I could just take footage from the last 7 or 8 years of videos and play it all in reverse. In the end, I just decided to move the crap out and get on with it. The table saw was the biggest challenge. It's about 500 pounds after the wings and fence are all stripped off, and it almost killed us all. But after that nightmare, everything else seemed pretty easy. The new shop is only a few blocks away from the old shop, and here's where owning a post office really started paying off. They receive regular mail deliveries by truck, so naturally, there's a lift, which we use to unload the heavy machines quickly and a lot more safely than those ramps. Chip showed up to direct things, so I headed to the office to see what the cable guy had left me. And what I found is typical of any cable installation, a big pile of crap on the floor. To be fair, the office is still sort of under construction, so he had to leave it on the floor. But when I began sorting through this rat's nest, I couldn't understand why I had so many boxes. 6 peripherals for cable, internet, and phone. Now I can figure some of it out. This, for example, is a cable DVR box, which as it turns out only records when it darn well feels like it. And this is my router, which sends all those magic signals through the air. I think this is my modem, which I'm told contains the interwebs. But what the heck is this? And what about these 2 big bricks? Of course, none of it's working. So, like an idiot, I called the cable company. An hour later, I'm told that this is a hotspot, a courtesy for my customers. What customers? I didn't ask for a freaking hotspot, and I sure don't plan on having customers hanging out using my bandwidth. That brings us to these. Even the girl on the phone can't figure them out. They look like modems, but I have a different modem. Do I have 3 modems? Finally, she says something about internet and phone, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't really listening. I told her I have TV and internet at home with 3 boxes, a cable box, a router, and a single modem. Why do I need 6 boxes at the office? Are 3 of them for that phone? I don't even want a phone. Nobody uses a regular phone anymore. It just sits there and collects calls from telemarketers. I only got it because it was a package deal. Are they making these deals because they have a surplus of boxes to get rid of? It was no use. So I hung up and I went back out to the shop where everyone seemed to have quit early, leaving me to assemble the rest of the table saw. I didn't mind though, because I've been anxiously staring at this pallet full of upgrades since they were delivered a week or so ago. You see, I already have the table saw of my dreams, but why not dream bigger, right? And in the 5 years since I got my saw, they've come out with some upgrades that I really wanted to try. So I had them shipped to me. First up is a major modification that required me to trim the end off my fence rails. I was nervous about this because these are expensive if I screw them up, and I tend to screw things up. And the steel is really thick. Can I cut it with my little carbide tooth cutoff saw? Believe it or not, this little sucker ate right through it. One of the angle pieces had to be trimmed in 2 cuts because it was so big, but that 1/4 inch thick steel was no problem. I love this little saw. And now that it's helped me with my big saw, I love it even more. I'll link to it in the notes below this video. Once the now shorter rails were reinstalled on the saw, I began installing the new sliding crosscut table. That's right, I'm going full-on European with a sliding table saw. They released this accessory a couple years back, and I always wanted one. I'm not sure I need one, but I treated myself to a new workshop, so why not a few saw upgrades? This will come in handy when I work with sheet goods, which we'll be doing a lot of as we build some of the cabinets and workstations here in the shop. Next up was a folding outfeed table. In the old shop, I had a homemade cart that I used as an outfeed table as well as for other things. Here I have room for a dedicated outfeed table, but before I build one, I thought I'd try out the one they made for the saw. So far, I kind of like it, but we'll see what happens moving forward. That brings us to the upgrade I was most looking forward to. My saw has always been equipped with over-the-blade dust collection that was built right into the guard. It worked pretty well, but it was a pain to remove when I had to have full access to the blade. I'd always wanted one of those floating blade guards with the built-in dust collection that I've seen on some saws, usually as an aftermarket upgrade. So when I saw that they made one specifically for my saw, I jumped at the chance to get it. I gotta say, I love this thing. It's by far my favorite of the upgrades. It provides better dust collection due to the larger hose, and it moves away easily when I need it to. Of course, there was a downside to installing the floating blade guard. It interfered with the router tables that I used to have in the side table, so those had to come out. Instead, I got one of SawStop's standalone cast iron top router tables. This is one of 3 new router tables we have in the shop, and you'll be seeing a side-by-side comparison video in the future. Sometimes I wonder if folks will think I'm a jerk for showing off the new stuff we're getting in here, but I figure you're watching a vlog about someone's new workshop, so you shouldn't be surprised it includes some new tools, right? Wait until you see the new joiner and planer. But that's enough for today. Time to sit back and have a cold one, because you've earned it, my friend. If you get what you pay for, then why are bandsaw blades so inexpensive at sawblade.com? Seriously, they're as good as any I've used. They come in any size you need, and they cost quite a bit less than anything comparable at the woodworking retailers. Try them for yourself at the link below this video. You'll see. Wait, don't go yet. If you're new here, please subscribe and remember to ring the bell. I would really appreciate that. Give us a thumbs up, or better yet, leave us a comment. I always read them. And be sure to check out the latest issue of Stumpy Nubs Woodworking Journal. It's always packed with tips, tricks, and tutorials designed to make you a better woodworker.